Hello. So today is just gonna be a bit of a chit chat, get ready with me to go nowhere kind of thing. I was just watching some YouTube videos and it made me sort of think of products that were my original favorites, or products that were my favorites before my current favorites. And so I was thinking that I would just use some of them. One reason that I remembered them was that the foundation I'm going to use, I actually sent my sister, one of my sisters, a shade in that foundation that was too deep for me, but she's a bit darker than me, and she was like, oh my god, I love it. And I was like, you know what? I used to love that foundation. I used to wear the mess out that foundation. So I thought, you know what, let me just go use some of my old stuff, you know? Yeah, I'm just gonna hop right in. I think I'll be chit-chatting. I don't know that I had anything to chit-chat about, but we'll see. So one of the primers that I loved, especially when it first came out, is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Now, I am project panning this, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my god, I want to be done with this primer so much. The reason I like this primer though is because of the hydro grip, right? It really grips onto your foundation, but it's also a bit hydrating. It doesn't make your face feel like the moisture has just been zapped out of it. Another one that I would use when I wanted a super matte foundation or matte primer is the Becca Evermatte. This stuff will have your face looking like the Sahara Desert, okay? So if you are super oily and you're like, I want matte, matte, you're gonna love this. You have a month or so left to buy it, right? Because Becca is going out of business. And then I'm gonna go in with my Hydro Grip. And now that I'm doing this, I'm realizing, I guess I'm gonna put on my foundation first. Because I kind of forgot about my eyes. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, a good thing is to let this primer sit in. So I guess I could let it sit in for a bit to sink into the skin. So while it is doing that, I will go ahead and use eyeshadow primer. And many of you, if you've watched my videos, you've seen this. This is the Sigma eyeshadow base primer, and this one is in the shade Sorbet. They have, I believe, 4 or 5 shades total. I like it because it is in this stick form. It's the first stick eyeshadow primer I've ever used. This one has a bit of color to it in comparison to this one. Wait. Yeah, this one, which is Ignite. This one is very much a light shade. While Sorbet, which is the one I'm using now, is this one here. And I picked this one because I think I'm going to use colors similar to it for my eye look. I believe. I haven't quite decided. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with the Anissa Beauty concealer brush. And actually, Anissa Beauty was having a 55% off sale, I believe, because the founder, it was their 55th birthday, something like that. But they have a brush cleaner that I really like. It comes in a pump form, and I was able to get 2 of those. I think typically they're 20 bucks, so 55% off was really good. Now, the eyeshadow palettes that I picked out are the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. Here is the back. It has this long packaging. And here is the palette, and then there's also a mirror that comes with it. This was a popular palette for so long. I think it's one of Colored Rain's best palettes. Colored Rain is an indie brand that is Black owned. They have this larger palette. They have a couple of others. I know they also have or had some singles that they then turned into like a palette itself. They also have these like small 6-pan palettes. So they have quite a few things. Yeah, so this is the one that I have held on to. A few of the others I have decluttered and given to my cousins or other folks just because I don't need all of it. The other one is the Dose of Colors Desi and Katie Friendcation palette. Here is the packaging, and the back has the shade names. And then here is the palette. Now this one, and I believe the Queen of Hearts, sometimes I still see this around on sale. The Desi and Katie, I don't know that you can get it anymore. But I figure like some of us probably still have these. So I know sometimes people don't like doing videos with products that like are limited edition or nobody has them anymore, but like I still have some stuff that like that aren't being sold anymore, so I'm guessing other people do too. But also you can always just take a look at these palettes and see if there are ones that are similar in your collection. So what shall we do? What shall we do? I think I'm gonna go in with this Princess shade, which is this one here. It's like a mauve, a pale mauve. So my birthday is this week in 4 days, July 29th, in case you were wondering and you haven't paid attention to me saying it for over a month. I don't know what I'm gonna do. One, I was supposed to like maybe go out to a dinner, maybe like an outside dinner, but a friend of mine just got diagnosed with the coronavirus. She's okay so far, which is awesome. And then my partner is still traveling for work, so it might just be me and Rose having some Rose. Don't worry, I'm not gonna give her any. I may give her a treat or something. Hey, Rose. Girl, your ears must be burning. I was just talking about you. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the shade Ladyship, which is this one here. I think I mentioned that Colored Rain is indie brand, Black woman owned. I didn't. Man, what are you doing? Don't even try it. No, no. Oh, you got an attitude. Should be all right. So here's that, kind of like a simple matte look. And of course, you know, I'm gonna go in with a shimmer because that's just how I roll. I think I'm gonna go in with Your Majesty and maybe even Noble Woman. Maybe I'll go in with both of those. Y'all, I bashed my finger in the door. Don't ask, okay? Don't even ask. So I'm just using my finger to put that on. Kind of messily, just putting it on there. I haven't done my nails because I need to finish my hair, and it's much easier to do my hair without long nails. They slow me down. I ordered some cookies from a friend for my birthday. I found her through another friend. I was looking on my friend's Instagram and I saw these delicious looking cookies and I was like, hi, where'd you get those? And she introduced me to her friend who is the baker. Child, when I tell you, those cookies are so good. Like my mouth is watering just thinking about them. So good. So I just usually order like a couple at a time. And I was like, so I want to order some cookies for my birthday, girl. And so I ordered some black and white cookies from her and then some regular chocolate chip. Y'all, when did they get here? They got here like 3 days ago. I have a couple left. Child. It's been like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're just so good. And she's so sweet. I just really love supporting her. Okay, so we're gonna leave the eyes alone for a bit, and I am going to go into foundation and concealer. So the foundation that I'm going to be using is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I have it in the shade 16. Makeup Revolution products are said to be cruelty-free, and this one is also vegan. I'm not quite sure if everything is vegan, but the foundation is. They do have different versions of this. So I know they have the Conceal and Hydrate as well. I haven't tried that one just because I really like the Conceal and Define. And I really like that it comes with a doe foot. So and this is $12 at Ulta. I just sort of swipe it on and then I'll blend it out. And I'm actually using this Sonia Kashuk sponge. It's like $7 at Target. Just felt like I hadn't used a sponge in a while. I've been using my brushes. And then the concealer that I'm going to use is also Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. So I have the shade 13, but I also have the shade 14.7. So it kind of just depends on how light I want my concealer to be. This one is the smaller version and it is $7. There's a larger version that's about the size of the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't think I have, let me see real quickly. Oh yes, I do. Okay, so here is the larger version and then here is the smaller one. So you can see there's a bit of a difference. Like the smaller one has 0.14 ounces, so 4 grams, and the super size, the larger one, has 0.45 ounces, so 13 grams. So yeah, the larger one is almost like 3 times the size of the smaller one. And the larger one is $10. The smaller one is $7. Alright, so just want to show you. Here is shade 13 and here is shade 14.7. So I have already taken the stopper out of shade 13, which means that I'm getting to the last of this. So I'm just going to use this one. And there is the Conceal and Define concealer, and then they also have the Conceal and Hydrate. Now, I did try the Conceal and Hydrate, and I just like the Conceal and Define ones much better. The foundation and the concealer, like I said, I haven't tried, I don't think I recall trying the Conceal and Hydrate foundation. Did I? I might have, girl. It can get so confusing to be like, am I using Conceal and Define, Conceal and Hydrate, Conceal and I don't know what? So there's a possibility that I used it and I just don't remember. But okay, so brows are on, and I haven't set my face, but when I tell you the foundation and concealer feels like it's already set. Not on my hands either. Ooh, I'm kind of ashy. So what I want to go in with next is what I used for contour for quite some time. I guess, yeah, contour, bronzer, and it is the Black Radiance powder. It's their pressed powder, and it is oil-free and has a matte finish. Black Radiance is also cruelty-free, if that matters for you. And the shade that I use for contour is Black Radiance. So Black Coffee by Black Radiance. Basically, I would use this as a contour product before I was able to find other brands or other contour bronzer items that would actually work for my skin tone. Black Radiance also has a contour kit. I believe they have a light, medium, and dark, and I would use the dark one. And the contour kit came with a highlighter, like a powder, and a bronzer contour shade. But I noticed that I would go through the contour shade and not go through the bronzer, the highlighter and the powder. And so I was like, let me see if I can find something where I can just not be wasting product. And so that's when I started using the powder. So it's not necessarily billed as a contour or a bronzer powder. It's just a pressed powder. It comes with this little brush that, like, as you can see, I've kind of never used. Let me grab a brush here. So I think I will take this Rephr number 5 and just go into, you know what, girl, get out of there. Just go into the powder. Whew. So this really sort of speaks to, like, the fact that a lot of drugstore brands have and had products for darker skin tones before higher end brands did, which is interesting. Now for blush, I am going to go back into my Cover FX Blush Duo, and this one is in the shade Spiced Cinnamon. Here is the packaging. It has a mirror here, and then you've got the matte and the shimmer. And I'm gonna grab a brush. This was like my favorite blush for a while before I started getting into the cream blushes. I need to go to bed. And also the Pat McGrath powder brush. I'm over myself right now. Now, the setting powder that I would tend to use for under my eyes was the Sasha Cosmetics Buttercup powder. That was a powder that every black and brown person was using. I swear. Now, I did go through that one. I'm pretty sure I used every last drop of it. And as I was getting to like the end of it, I was noticing that it was a little too buttercuppy in terms of the color. So I actually wanted something that was a bit lighter. And so then I started using the Too Faced Peach Perfect Caramelized Peach powder. Now that peach line has been discontinued, but I'm still finishing up a little bit of it. Since I did use up the Sasha Buttercup one, I'm just gonna go into what I have left of my Caramelized Peach, which is, that's all I have left. And then we can do an empties. I'm excited for that. Now, before Tarte started their foolishness with that ridiculous shade range they came out with like a couple years ago, like it was like 12 shades of beige, and then they were called out and they were like, we're gonna like release deeper shades, and like these are for winter shades. Girl, what? before all that, I used to buy a ton from the brand. I still love their Shape Tape concealer, even though they messed it up with the foundation shades that they came out with. But I used to also use their Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Not to say that it was one of my favorites, but Tarte was just one of the first brands I started buying from with the Shape Tape concealer. And then I used to have the like Amazonian clay foundation. That was like that. The foundation, y'all. That was like, okay, so that was before my love of the Revolution and the NYX foundation. Okay, so got the mascara on. One question I have, do you use an eyelash curler? Now, I have an old one from, wow, it hasn't even, the name ain't even on it no more, but I'm pretty sure it's like Revlon, and I used it occasionally. I didn't use it a ton. I remember the first time seeing one of my friends use an eyelash curler in high school, and I was like, what is that? What are you doing? What's that torture device? So it's never really been like a huge thing for me, but I did get the one from Refer. And I think it's because I have like short, sparse lashes that I'm just not expecting like miracles and have like snuffleupagus lashes or anything. But let me know your experience with lash curlers and if you find that they do something or not. So I am going to go back into my Queen of Hearts palette and take a brush and go into Ladyship just to do the lower lash line. So I've been watching the show A Million Little Things. Has anyone watched it? I initially watched it, or I watched like 1 or 2 episodes and then I kind of left it alone. And then I was looking for something to watch and I was like, oh, you know, I don't think I ever finished that or whatever. So let me go ahead and watch it. I kind of like it. Now the powder that I would often use is from Black Opal, and it is their True Color Soft Velvet Finishing Powder. This is in the shade 700 Deep. Take that out, and it is a very deep powder. So here that is, and I would use this just like it says, like a finishing powder, and set everything. Taking a big fluffy brush from BK Beauty and using this to set my whole face. Now, I think I want to give the reverse cat eye thing a try. Oh, shoot. What happened? Did I use all of it? No, I didn't. Oh, a little part of the stick. So let me see if I can find somebody else that did it. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is start with a pencil. This is the Smashbox Always On Gel Liner. How is that all? So here is the look without lashes. I added the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint in Underrated. It's a mini. And here it is with lashes. So there is the look, and yeah, that was fun just to sit down and do my makeup. I hope it helps, and I will see you next time.